Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this audio presentation, I will discuss, or rather to say, I will revise the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die. See, I have given a heading at the very top, We Are Not Afraid to Die. Then I have written a short survey of the chapter and a short summary. So few details related with the chapter along with a short summary of the chapter I will try to explain to you all. So let's start. The narrator's family is a descendant of Captain James Cook, whose round the earth voyages are popular in the history. After 200 years of Cook's chain of journeys, the narrator and his little family, wife and two children, set sail in July 1976 in their hulled boat Wave Walker from Plymouth. We know about it. Gordon Cook is actually a descendant of Captain James Cook, and he wanted to replicate the round the world voyage that was initially done almost 200 years ago by his great grandfather Captain James Cook, and he was accompanied by his wife Mary, that you know by this time, son Jonathan and daughter Suzanne. And on the way they had hired two crewmen. One was Larry Vigil and another one was Half Sigler. That in the course of the story, you get to know about them also. Once in the atrocious southern Indian Ocean, atrocious, dear students, it means very violent. Once in the atrocious southern Indian Ocean, the boat was hit by a gigantic wave, breaking a section of the boat. Their special boat, that is Wave Walker. Through the hole, water streamed in and the boat was nearly sinking. Now, another synonym of sinking is capsizing, near capsizing. The rest is a war with water and waves for survival. But this story teaches us courage, endurance, stoicism, because when the boat was nearly sinking, not only the author and his family but also the crew members, they showed ample amount of courage and determination to fight the waves, and they fought the waves for survival, and they succeeded finally. So let me move on to the next paragraph. The children knew that the end had come, yet they said they were ready to die if the family could die altogether. Hearing this, the narrator continued the struggles with added strength and finally closed the hole, got the water out of the ship, but that was not all. The question of their location in sea was hard to answer because the narrator decided to get help from the outside, but no one answered the mayday calls. As you get to see in the text also, you get to read in the text also that in the middle of the ocean they were lost. The narrator desperately tried to communicate, but the narrator was unsuccessful in those things. With no access to a radio signal from the land, with no maps or compass, the narrator made a rough calculation, that is 185 degrees, and the ship anchored near Ile Amsterdam. Now, Ile Amsterdam is a tiny island, and finally, when they reached this particular island, they were saved. Previously, they planned to reach Australia, but the condition of the Wave Walker was not so strong enough to reach Australia. So, the narrator calculated a rough calculation he made in the navigation room, and finally they anchored near a small tiny island, a French scientific base by the name of Ile Amsterdam, and finally they were saved. Now, dear students, this is the more or less the glimpse of the main survey of the chapter. Now, I am moving on to the summary. The author and his wife and their two children, Jonathan and Susan, was the family of four. As you know by this time, the author Gordon Cook, his wife Mary, he was a 37-year-old businessman. It is given in your text also, dear students. And they had two children. One was a son and one was a daughter, Jonathan and Susan. They tried to duplicate the round the world voyage in their professionally built boat Wave Walker. Now they decided to actually duplicate or replicate the voyage that was undertaken 200 years earlier by Captain James Cook. So they decided to move around the world also, just like Captain James Cook. They also picked up two crewmen, American Weigel and a Swiss man by the name of Herb Sigler, to tackle the roughest seas. And what is the world's roughest seas? The Southern Indian Ocean. The initial period of their voyage wasn't worrying. Now, at the very beginning, their journey was very smooth. There was no problem as such. But a couple of days later, the weather turned bad. But a few days later, the weather was very much worse. Yet, they had a wonderful Christmas, 3,500 kilometers east of Cape Town. But still, they celebrated the Christmas. Even they celebrated the New Year also with lot of enthusiasm. But as they progressed with their journey, the weather turned worse. However, the following days, high waves roared and lashed the ship on both sides of the ship. The wave walker shook and the author was thrown overboard. But gigantic sea waves lashed on the wave walker and the author was seriously injured. The ship was about to sink, or rather to say capsize, when another gigantic wave hit it. The author was thrown back onto the deck. His head and ribs smashed against the walls and blood began to appear. We get to know that the author was seriously injured and blood began to appear on his from his mouth, but still he showed a lot of courage and determination to fight the fury of nature. The author didn't lose his temper. He tried to repair the leakage in the ship and he was ably supported by his wife Mary and the two crewmen who are exceptionally courageous people, to say, dear students, both the American and the Swiss man. They also helped the author and his family. No immediate help was available as they were in one of the remotest corner of the world. The author tried to create a sort of a radio signal with the rest of the world, but he failed because they were stranded. The word stranded means they were all isolated. stranded. They were all stranded in one of the remotest corner of the world. So the author tried his best to create a sort of a communication with the help of mayday calls, but he was unsuccessful in that. Susan too suffered a head injury. She was extremely brave not to speak of her injury. She simply didn't want to bother her parents when they were trying to save everybody on board. The daughter also received head injury. It is written in the text also that at the very end, when the family safely reached Ile Amsterdam, their operation was done because blood clot occurred on her head. So stitching and all those things were done. That we get to know later. But at that dire circumstances, at that important moment, Susan also kept quiet because she realized that her father, the other family members, her mother, the two crewmen, they were all trying their best to save the family. So despite the pain, she kept quiet and she went on supporting her parents. She didn't want to bother her parents because not only she, even her brother, they both realized that their parents were trying to save everyone, including themselves also, on board. Now, dear students, I am moving on to the next paragraph. The family had survived for more than 36 hours and was desperately looking for rescue. The ship was in a bad condition and would not last to reach Australia. I told you previously only in the course of this audio lecture session only that their main plan was to reach Australia, but with the condition of the wave walker, it was not possible for them to reach Australia. The nearest would be to reach Ile Amsterdam, a French scientific base. So finally the author decided that it is better to reach Ile Amsterdam, which is a French scientific base. However, their respite was short-lived when dark clouds began to appear again. Now, they got a bit respite, but again dark clouds began to appear. The children, even in the face of death, had the patience to give the thank you card to their parents, though their condition was getting worse and they might their boat might be destroyed and they might die. Even in these dire circumstances, the children they gifted a thank you card to their parents. It was a symbol of trust. The author and his wife checked and rechecked their calculations by going to the navigation board. The westerly currents were calculated and they turned their ship by 185 degrees. I previously mentioned also 185 degrees they turned their ship. They sailed on and found Amsterdam by evening. Amsterdam means I am talking about that French scientific base, Ile Amsterdam. They found this island by evening time. Their joy knew no bounds when they spotted the island, because ultimately it is their only hope of survival. So let me continue. It was in fact Suzanne who spotted the island and announcing it to her father. They anchored offshore for the night and struggled on to reach the island with the help of the inhabitants of the island. Later, they were all rescued by the inhabitants of the island, who welcomed every one of them. Finally, they had landed on their feet. It was both the grace of God and their courage and patience. Obviously, the grace of God accompanied by their stoicism, courage and patience, which actually helped them. In short, this story teaches us courage, love and faith. Remember, dear students, ultimately at the end of the day, this particular real life story, we are not afraid to die if we are all together. This story ultimately teaches us courage, love and faith. In this story, the children of the narrator played the most crucial role in his life. Why? Because they gave ample amount of motivation and confidence to the narrator, so that the narrator became very much motivated from deep inside and decided to fight out against the gigantic sea waves. And they were finally triumphant. They were victorious. They were loving, caring and concerned towards their parents. The children, both Jonathan and Suzanne, they were very caring, very concerned and very loving towards their parents. They were courageous too. And finally, because of the courageous effort of each and every member, not only the children but also the crew members, even the author's wife and the author himself, finally they succeeded to overcome the natural calamities and finally they succeeded to save their lives. So that was it, dear students. I tried to explain a quick survey of the chapter, along with that the summary of the chapter. Now the important thing is that you listen to this audio presentation, and if there is any doubt, let me know about it. Thank you, students. Thank you all.